Hey guys, it's Brian here with FishingOut.com. Kind of recapping the first three, I guess, BFLs. Fishing up in the Illinois division for the Illini division there, and we had already been to Rend. We had gone to Shelbyville, had gotten done with that, and then we went to Golconda. And coming out of Shelbyville, I had a 30-place finish and was sitting like 23rd or something in points. So I was feeling pretty good about myself at that point in time. And the only tournament of the year I wasn't real worried about was going out of Golconda. I'd never been up on that pool, but I figured I'd lock through and come down to the Tennessee or the Cumberland rivers, which I fish them all the time down here. So I figured I had no problem there. I'd get I'd actually had a chance of getting a check at that one out of all the tournaments I was looking at. And I fished the lower end of the Cumberland on Thursday prior. I always fish up by the dam in that area. I thought, well, I'm going to put in down a little farther and just, fish from there out to the Ohio River and just see if I can find something else maybe on the run back or just something else to look at. And wound up catching a bunch of spots. I was really surprised, but I knew the weight really wasn't there. I would have had 5 for like maybe 6 pounds. Down there you can keep a fish that's 12 inches, where up here on the lakes they got to be, Ducky and Barkley, a fish has to be 15. So there's fish there. I enjoyed catching them, but we just put a pattern together, which was good, but it just never had a big bite. Like I said, my 5 would have been between 6 and maybe 7 pounds at most. So Friday I ran over to the Tennessee River, which it and I do not get along, and fished a bunch of stuff and just never got bit. I don't know why on that lake. It just drives me crazy. Just couldn't figure it out. And I stopped on kind of one last desperate idea what to do, and pulled out a crankbait and caught like a 4.5 pound smallmouth. And I'm like, well, now maybe we're onto something. And went home after I was done practice, didn't do much else. Just I had that one really good fish and had a few other bites and just kind of really more idled some areas looking at stuff. And thought about it all night, and I just thought, man, if I got to fish, you aren't going to have 6 or 8 hours of fishing. But in the time I get to fish, probably about 6 hours, 5 hours, once you walk through and run down and got to run back and everything, I thought, well, if I fish there for 5 hours and I get one bite, it's going to weigh as much as, a limit of fish over on the Cumberland. So I decided that I was going to run to the Tennessee and I was going to stick it out, and that's what I was going to do. And if I got my one, I'd be sitting pretty good. And then if I get lucky enough to get a limit, you could probably win it there. And that's usually where the winning weights come from. Well, the Tennessee pretty much kicked everybody in the butt that went over there. There was a bunch of guys that went over there. There was even more that went up the Cumberland. When we come out of the lock, about at least half the field had locked through to one of the two rivers. And the majority of them, probably out of the 70 boats, I'd say 40 to 50 of them wound up going up the Cumberland. And I knew at that point that I had made the wrong decision. I should have just turned and went up there. I love fishing the Cumberland. I could have fished it without no pre-fishing up where I would have been catching fish. But I ran down to the Tennessee and stuck with what I thought I had found in practice, and we fished our guts out all day long. I mean, we didn't let up. We only wound up having about 3 short fish bites all day. I think we had one drum and maybe a catfish or something. It was an absolute miserable day. Everybody that went up there had maybe one fish if it had caught anything, and we got our butts kicked going up there. We just absolutely made the wrong decision and laid down a big 0 for that one, and it was very disappointing after that being the only tournament I thought I didn't have to worry about. So just goes to show you, the ones you're pumped for doesn't mean that you're gonna do anything in them. But so now, from going from 23rd in points with that big 0, I'm sitting down 66, I believe, in points. So they say you can blank one and you got no problems. You just got to make sure you catch them in the Shelbyville at the end of the year. So this coming weekend, this Saturday, we've got our 4th one, which is up on Rend again, and not an easy lake. A lot of guys blanked there on the first one of the year. I think we had 100 and some boats. I had one fish and was sitting like 53rd, and I was like almost the last guy for weight that actually caught a fish. So have to feel blank there. So we got to go up there and at least get one fish, and get up to Shelbyville and get at least one there. And I think we'll be okay. We'll make the regional back here on Kentucky Lake. So hopefully now with the one coming up, we'll do this ahead of time, and we'll be able to, we're going to go up Friday pre-fish, so we'll try to keep you up to date and do some checking in as the tournament's going on, and do another recap when it's over. So we'll talk to you here Friday.